Hello, ladies, gentlemen, non-binaries, and everybody else under the rainbow of our wonderful community. How are you doing? Today, we are back with Sexy, Spicy September. It's like day 23-ish, I think. We're in the last week, and I can't believe I've been able to do as many games and play and look at as many games as I have. So go me. It's basically what I'm saying. Go me. If you guys like all the Otomes I've been putting out this month, please check out the playlist at the end of the video or down in the description box below, as well as all my other social media. I do live streams over on Twitch, where we're also playing Otome games during September. And then next month we'll have Frisky Flirty Fridays will be back. So the Otome playing never ends, to be fair. And with that, let's talk about today's game. So today we are playing Alaris or Alaris from Crescent Studio. Let's see. Enter a world of magic, of fae and dragon. Long ago, dragons sacrificed their kind to protect life on this planet. Thanks to their noble deed, life has continued in the world of Alaris. In fact, it has prospered. Humans, beings once unable to use magic, have now dethroned dragons as the strongest in the world. With dragon energy at their fingertips, humans live in a utopia ruled by peace. However, not all is as it seems. What forces are lurking under the surface, threatening to expose truths that have been long forgotten and disrupt this utopia. Uncover the history that's never been told, but is ever important to the problems faced today. Explore a world that's always existed, just on the outskirts of your awareness. Discover your true self and purpose, and see if there's someone willing to accept and love you for whatever that may be. This has been a game that I've been looking at for a while, and I don't know why I saved it to like the last week. Maybe I was like, we're gonna finish this with a bang, but I'm really excited for this story. Again, all the information about the game is also down in the description box below, so check that out if you like what you see today. And with that, everyone, let's jump over to the game, and you can see where we're getting this beautiful, beautiful music from. Look at that. Oh, that's so beautiful. It's so beautiful. Just a heads up, here's my preferences, background music, sound effects, voice I have all the way up as always. The usual. Let's go. Alaris is a tale that's currently in progress. Like many things in nature, time may change some of its elements. Indeed, aspects of the story, such as physical features, may transform. New components of the narrative may be discovered, and the way in which you navigate the world of Alaris may alter. With that said, it is our hope that this story, as we have discovered it thus far, is to your liking. I like that they said discovered. We all carry scars with us, wounds that have healed with time, but that may still be sensitive. This is a story that may touch on some of those wounds, a tale that covers attempted assault, battery, and kidnapping, mild language, violence, and sexual content. While it is not our intent to inflict harm through the story, we caution you to know your boundaries and the wounds you may carry. This is the nicest written disclaimer I think I've ever read. Dawn. Ooh. The world you've come to is different now. There was a time when dragons lived alongside humans, magnificent creatures who ruled over nature with unparalleled power. Earth, fire, water, wind, all elements were rendered helpless in the face of dragons. But rather than use their powers for destruction, these beings maintained peace, balance. As they reigned over the skies, waters, and lands, the dragons watched over all beings, promising safety. Long ago, humans inhabited the planet, living alongside dragons. But unlike dragons, humans were at the mercy of nature. Desperate for control, humans created their own power, a magic of their own cunning that drew from nature's energy. They called it technology. Technology was powerful, so powerful it rivaled even the might of their dragon protectors. Humans, like dragons, were now able to bend nature to their will. Now, the elements were rendered helpless in the face of technology. But their magic had a price. For every time humans used technology, they stole from nature. Eventually, the planet was plunged into a darkness that seeped into every corner of the world. In one day, it was as if nature itself struck back, and a great calamity fell. Oh. Truly, nothing could stand in its path. With no end in sight, many feared the planet's eventual collapse. Over time, even the numbers of the great dragons began to dwindle. Ooh. As a last resort, the dragons sacrificed their kind, combining their powers to restore nature and its balance. A ritual was conducted, meant to imbue the entirety of their life force with the planet itself. The magic these beings once possessed was now intertwined with the fabric of nature. The dragons that had once ruled over nature had now become the very embodiment of it. And because of their noble sacrifice, the rest of the planet's inhabitants were slowly able to recover. And recover they did. In a new dawn, many creatures discovered newfound abilities, remnants of the magical energy left behind by the dragons. Some experienced physical changes. Others changed on an even deeper level. One of those creatures were humans. Abilities once locked away, only accessible through technology, were now free. Once again, nature was at their command. In time, humanity learned how to harness this power, eventually favoring it over technology. Their proficiency with dragon energy increased, and it was not long till humans dethroned dragons as the most powerful creatures on the planet. The magic that the dragons gifted to humans was to never be forgotten or taken for granted. Their sacrifice changed the fabric of life itself and allowed humans to live in a utopia, and for that, humans would always be grateful. At least, this is how the story of the world is told. I loved how that intro was very, like, Eastern Asian of like cultured storytelling with we got so much lore dropped on us, but it was done in such a way that we were giving pictures and things changed, and we weren't just stuck reading walls and walls of text. Like the story came alive behind it as well, and that was so good. Ooh. And you, stumbling before me, still so full of potential. How do you play into all of this? I see you do not even have a name yet. Oh? You do have a name. Very well. What is it? Reaper! Reaper. How strange. Then I shall know you as Reaper. And how does one refer to you in this world? Again, I swear, like, every Otome that I played this month has allowed us to choose pronouns. We are yes, there is no excuse. Everyone should have these options now. I'm kind of feeling femme today. Let's go she, her. I see. So it would be right to say Reaper goes by she, her? Yes. Is this right? This can't be changed later. Yep, let's do it. Excellent. I'm all the more wiser now. But there's more to come. Personality is a mighty force, shaping much of our experience, our interactions, our relationships. You see, even the choices we make are a product of our personality. Will you choose to be brave? Kind? Ooh. Wise? Charismatic? I'm gonna forget all of those flowers. Or perhaps a blend. At moments when it is unclear, there may be resources to aid you. You see, I have provided you a gift. A codex, if you will. The codex may have the answers you seek, where these resources for your personality are located, what the terms of this age mean, things of that nature. I hope this tool is of use to you. Keep it as a gift from me to you. Oh, you doubt my goodwill? How amusing. You are wise for your age. So be it. You have seen through me. In exchange for this codex, entertain me a while longer. Dawn approaches, and I find myself having many questions about you. Shall we start with something simple first? I mean, sure, I guess. I don't know, why am I... What do you want to be when you grow up? Protector, healer, scholar. I think I want to be a protector. Yeah. Brave. My word, how valiant. Those who choose to protect are so underappreciated, aren't they? How interesting. I feel I know you better already. Another question then. What are you most afraid of? Being unable to protect those I care about, being unloved, losing the ones I loved. Okay, look. No one can judge me, okay? Nobody judge me. Yeah, I'm afraid of being unloved. Nobody judge me, don't say anything. The fear of being unaccepted. It's a common one. What can one do when no one will accept their true form? But perhaps we should talk of more hopeful things. Tell me, what is your deepest aspiration? Find a group of people who love me for who I am no matter what, making a difference in the world and changing the lives of those around me. Having the freedom to live how I want, unbounded by rules and obligations. Having the freedom to live how I want. I feel like I do that. I feel like I'm 70% of the way there. Like I moved across the world to like follow what I wanted to do in my life, but I still, like, there's still more. Yeah, having the freedom to live how I want. So often people feel trapped by the norms and natural laws around them. To live freely, however, you desire must be liberating. To live freely, however, you desire must be liberating. Your aspiration is inspiring. I hope you're able to achieve it one day. Me too, game. Me too. Much strength will be needed for this journey of yours. Fortunately, I see strength within you. But none of us are without weakness. What may be an obstacle on your way to your aspirations? I can be too stubborn when I have my mind set on something. I'll do anything for the ones I care about, even if it hurts me. I care too much about what other people think of me. I do. I care too much. I do. Being perceived by others can be terrifying. It is normal to desire acceptance. Is this a game? Is this an Otome game, or am I going through therapy right now? Like, these are some strong questions, Alaris. But can you live your life to the fullest if you're held back by others' beliefs about you? Look, I know, okay? I have this conversation with myself like every day. I know. This game coming from my throat. This has been enjoyable. I truly loved learning more about you. Personality is fascinating. It can embody such varying traits. It can be complex yet simple, dynamic yet static. For you, it seems bravery is important. You remind me of the heroes of lore. But perhaps you perceive yourself differently. If one trait could describe you, which would best represent you? I care deeply for other people. I want others to be able to live a safe, rewarding life. I will always stand up for myself, my beliefs, and those close to me. I'm curious about the world around me and always seeking answers. I thrive off others and love interacting with different types of people and personalities. I care what people think about me, but I will also stand up for myself, my beliefs, and those close to me. Bravery is really on track here. I see. Thank you for answering my questions. It has been enlightening. I look forward to seeing what this life has in store for you. Ooh. Yeah, Mom, I'm on my way home right now. Make sure to pick up some eggs, too. We're running out. Don't worry, I remember. I'll be home soon. Okay, see you soon, honey. Love you. Love you too. As I hung up, I made a quick note on my communicator to pick up eggs before placing my communicator back into my pocket and sighing. Omote. Does that mean side? Cannot remember. My Japanese is failing me. Picking eggs up is the last thing I want to do right now. Would it kill me to pick eggs up right now? Maybe. Aches in my muscles shot through my body. I stifled my groan. With all the dragon energy I've used today, it's a wonder I'm able to get home right now in the first place. It's not the end of the world if I get them tomorrow, right? My muscles cried out in pain once more. I groaned, out loud this time as I shut my eyes. Why do we use so much energy? Lately, more people have been seeking my services. I'm happy to help, but I don't know how much more my body can take. I turned the corner, my body yearning to get home when... and overtaken. Ah! The air buzzed as if alive with a dangerous amount of electricity. A pit formed in my stomach. Erratic, thin tendrils of energy shot out. Their body twitched. I tensed, wary of each movement. Are we the only ones here with this thing? My eyes stared into theirs, but, like all overtaken, there was nothing left. Their eyes were a void empty of awareness. Ah! Hands reached for me. The energy in the air crackled closer than before. I pivoted out of their reach and used my elbow to hit their back, dropped down, and kicked their feet from under them. Let's see if we can get their feet out from under them, because in that way they'll definitely be on the ground. If we use our elbow, there's a potentiality that they'll just stumble forward and they won't get on the ground. Let's drop kick them. I slammed into them and forced them onto the ground. Pinning their arms back, I pressed against them and restricted their movements. Quickly, I scanned their body, searching for the source of imbalanced energy. Where are you? Where are you? Where are you? Dull waves of energy rolled off their body, obscuring the true source of irregularities. A sharp line of energy zipped past me, narrowly missing my left cheek. There. Near their left shoulder, their energy bubbled, different from the undulating flow of the rest of their energy. My hand hovered above it. Ugh. Yeah, I heard you. Don't worry, this will be over fast. Just work with me here. They struggled underneath me. Or don't. I channeled my energy towards their shoulder, the familiar warm feeling of my energy radiating off my hand. Slowly, mine intertwined with theirs until the bubbling settled. The overtaken relaxed, the sharp bolts of energy ceasing soon after. I stood, cautious, as I released them. Okay, so they're savable! Jeez, of all days. Do you mind? Go bother someone else for once. They shifted, silenced their only response. I huffed as I kneeled to check their vitals. Everything seemed stable. The overtaken incidents really are rising. This is the 5th one I've run into in the last month. You're lucky you ran into me, you know. If I were part of Central, who knows what would have happened to you. Please step away from that person. I jumped at the loud voice, startled by the sudden presence. Approaching me from the end of the street were 2 men, clothed in fitted black tops and loose beige pants. On the left was a man with long flowing red hair that cascaded effortlessly behind him. Their eyes were golden and brilliant. Sunlight danced off them. A welcoming mischief glimmered in their gaze. A hint of something more dangerous seemed to lurk beneath. On the right was a man who was their polar opposite. Tall, with black hair, and a cold, almost reluctant aura about him. As I met his gaze, forest green eyes stared back, scrutinizing me with caution. I think there's quite a few romance options in this game, but they both hot. Okay, I haven't chosen yet. They're just really hot, okay? But what caught my attention most were the prominent dark horns perched at the top of his figure. Drakes? Speak of the devil. Are you hurt? Now closer, I took in the dark-haired man's physique. Strength emanated from him, almost overwhelmingly so, from the self-assured way he carried himself, to his frame, to his energy. A physical ability. My eyes lingered on him, on his horns. A physical manifestation like horns is rare. He must be strong. I will say, if he's supposed to be taller, I don't know why. Like, yeah, they need to drop him down maybe and make him a little taller. But maybe they're trying to show off the horns here. Whew. But I love the way the eyes are drawn for both of them. He stopped before me, the skepticism in his gaze only growing. Crap. Did he notice me staring? I averted my gaze. I'm fine, just a little tired. I didn't expect to run into anyone here, much less an overtaken. The two drakes looked at each other, the overtaken, and then me, their face a mixture of surprise and concern. You seem to be rather calm right now. Overtaken are quite dangerous. Most find themselves overwhelmed when encountering one. The red-haired drake spoke cautiously, and I felt myself shrinking under the intensity of their gaze. No! Chest out, back straight. We just fucking took out. We just took this thing out. Why are we scared of a drake? Let's go. Actually, I'm somewhat used to it. This might be my 5th encounter this month. Is it that surprising? That's quite the accomplishment. Even drakes can struggle to hold their own against the overtaken. I tried to hide my surprise at the implication. While I can at the very least protect myself, I'm not a fighter. I'm certainly not as physical as the drakes when handling the overtaken. No, I don't quite. I trailed off as I fumbled for the right words. My mind raced to pull together a clearer explanation. My name is Reaper. You might have heard of me. I don't exactly fight the overtaken. I heal them, in a way. Essentially, I stabilize them so that by the time help comes, like you two, they're more lucid or easier to handle. Oh wait, I think I've heard of you. You're like a famous healer, right? I don't know about famous, but most people around here are familiar with me. I didn't even know overtaken could be healed. I thought once they enter that kind of state, they have to be knocked out. And sometimes even that's not enough. I wasn't aware of this either. I wouldn't be surprised if you were actually the only person who knew this Reaper. Healing them. This could change everything regarding the way we deal with overtaken. They gestured towards the overtaken. Do you mind if I take a look? I shook my head as I made room for them to examine the figure. Slowly, they knelt and surveyed the overtaken. Each movement is so careful, so fluid. Interesting. Their vitals are normal, and there's no sign of serious injuries. They rose, turning towards me, the natural glimmer in their eyes now even more apparent. Usually I prefer to get to know someone before requesting so much, but your knowledge could help us out tremendously at Central. Your approach is certainly more effective than what we've been doing. Would you be willing to lend your talents to us, even if it's just your insight? I think it would help us and the overtaken if we could use your method instead. They paused, as though considering another matter before continuing. Though I understand you must be quite busy, considering how renowned you are. Ruby locks grazed my shoulder. The lightness of their breath tickled my ear as they closed the space between us. And now that I'm looking at it, that shirt is really, really tight. Oh, does it need to be this close? It's getting really hard to breathe. I think it's because my energy is so drained. We came off of a long day of work, and then we took out what was it that person? But is it getting hot? Is this just the side effect of being exhausted? That being said, I'm sure we could reach an arrangement that would make everyone happy. Their words were slow and deliberate. Each one teased tension into the air. I couldn't see it, but I heard a hint of a smile in their voice. I think it might be too early. I think there's a lot more options. They're enjoying this. Push them away or freeze. I want them to stay here, but I don't want them to think they have control over me. Does that make sense? So I push them away. If I push them away pro, it, like, you know, could be a response of like a strong character. But con is if I push them away, they could take it as I don't like them. Freeze could show me as like a weaker character, which they might not like. And the pro is we might stay this way. See, y'all thought Otome games was just, oh, you know, pick whatever option you would say. No, there's like, in my mind, I'm like, the roots are forming and I have to go which way to get to the love part. There's a method to these things. You start thinking really deeply about these things. Okay, if they're enjoying this, though, maybe I should let them enjoy it a little more. I'm gonna freeze this time. Let's see if they enjoy it just a little bit more. Okay. Blood rushed to my cheeks, and my face, neck, and ears felt impossibly hot. My breath hitched, head dizzied, heart rate quickened. But I couldn't look away from their golden eyes. They chuckled, the sound of it sending shivers through me. How cute. He called me cute! Oh, he called me cute! You know, if you could see the nerd shelf behind me, there's lots of blues. I don't have many reds. But you, sir, you might be, yes, I like being called cute, okay? It's like... After what felt like an eternity, they drew away. Once upright, they winked, signaling the end to whatever had passed between us. My cheeks burned, and I found myself relieved when they stood back. The air felt cold without their presence, but I finally had a chance to calm my racing heartbeat. I shook my head, redirecting the focus to the red-haired Drake's offer. I'd love to help, but if I'm being honest, I've been stretched thin lately with my own patience. I'm not sure how much extra time I have to help. The red-haired man's shoulders dropped slightly, as if in disappointment. But if it's knowledge you need, maybe I could find some time to come in and talk to whoever? Just as quickly they straightened. Of course. That's more than we could ever hope for. I know it's a lot to ask, considering we've just met. We're more than willing to work with you to find something you're happy with as well. I let their words sink in. The overtaken incidents are a serious concern. While I do have my own patients to look after, I've also been feeling burnt out. Maybe a change of pace would be good for me. I'm sure we can make something work. Agreed. Why so many cars? Why are so many cars being loud outside? Can y'all stop? I'm not editing this. Stop. The horned Drake moved to the overtaken. He crouched near the body, eyeing it, before positioning himself to pick it up. Oh, do you need help? I stepped towards him, arms ready. No worries, I got it. He placed his arms underneath the body, and with a fluid motion, effortlessly lifted the overtaken off the ground. He makes it look so easy. Okay, I guess I shouldn't be surprised, considering he has physical abilities. Once he secured them over his shoulders, he turned to me. His eyes swept over my body. I furrowed my brows at the overt way he observed me. Do you normally carry these on your own after you've knocked them out? Oh, is that why he was staring? He was sizing me up? I don't have to have horns coming out of my face to be strong enough to carry a couple of overtaken. Not usually, no. So then what do you usually do? Okay, usually I kind of just leave them there? My words fell clumsily from my mouth as I compared myself to how he easily and carefully carried the body. Why did he have to ask that question? The reason I usually don't carry them is because I'm too tired from healing patients all day. Yep. Look, His body shook as he laughed, and I felt my face heat up. Usually I'm really tired when I run into one. Sorry if I don't have the energy to carry them to the closest. His laughter only grew as I indignantly searched for better reasons to defend myself. Druck, you're being rude. Is it Drook? Maybe Drook. I think Drook would be better. Drook, you're being rude. Reaper's has done a much better job at handling the overtaken than we have. Yeah, Drook! After being scolded by his fellow Drake, Drook's laughter slowly subsided. Drook, is that your name? Drook looked at me, remnants of amusement still twinkling in his eyes. That's what they call me. The prick with no sense of personal space is Kane. Dang it! League of Legends, now I've got Kane stuck in my head. God. But I do like that name. Oh! Okay, right now Kane is in the running for #1. Kane pointedly ignored Drook's words and politely nodded at me. It's nice to meet you, Reaper. We're both Drakes, but I'm sure you were able to gather that much by now. We could take this overtaken with us and handle things from here. But if you're free right now, we could also try and meet with Kimura. Kimura? I'll probably give that one a more Japanese pronounced name. Kimura. He can get everything arranged for you. He's basically the big guy who tells us what to do around here. Kimura? Like the head of Central Kimura? The one who runs everything? My mouth went dry at the thought of meeting the head of Central himself. Both Drakes smiled at me as they turned toward Central. Don't worry, we won't let him bite. Why does every Otome have like that line in it? And also, if you're gonna put that line in an Otome, you gotta let me respond. You have to give me a choice of responding, of like being quiet or being like, what if I want him to bite? Like, come on! If you're gonna put the biting line in there, I gotta choose if I want it or not. Just follow us and you'll be golden. Hopefully your bad luck with the overtaken won't rub off on us. Excuse you, my luck is great, apparently. There was a lightness in his voice that wasn't there before. I laughed, surprised at how casual he now was compared to the skepticism from earlier. I'll try my best. As we walked, my aches, previously forgotten, returned with a vengeance. Kane gonna carry me? Can one of you guys carry me? Is this gonna happen? It's too early, I know. I sighed, acutely aware that we were getting further and further from the sanctity of my bed. Goodbye, bed. I'll only be gone for just a little longer. There's no way I'm still getting eggs tonight. Oh, I like the hair choice for him. The three men before me discussed what Kane and Drook had just learned. Definitely was not expecting to meet Kimura when I woke up today. Kimura was well known as the respected head of Central, and I was sure his time was hard to come by. Either these two are ranked much higher than I thought, or the situation with the overtaken is graver than what Central had been telling the public. I had a sinking feeling it was the latter. This conversation has gone on for a while now. I don't know if you guys have noticed, but over in, what is it, maybe the top left corner of the screen, it's been showing up that we have had codex entries. There's been quite a few of them, and it's really nice because it's just like naturally happening through the story, so we don't have to like unlock necessarily. Like, you don't have to say a correct response in order to unlock a codex entry. That might change later down the line, which would be really, really cool. But for like beginning of the game, I like that they're just opening and giving us codex entries that we could read later, or not, because I don't know if I'm gonna read them. I might not read them on video, but I might read them myself. I started to wonder if they remembered I was still in the room. Okay, sorry to interrupt. Hello, I'm still here. Hi, yes, I'm tired and I was supposed to go pick up eggs from my mother, so... Their heads snapped towards me, the previous conversation dying. I know there's been a lot of overtaken incidents lately, and I'm happy to help. But am I missing something here? I was under the impression the overtaken incidents were bad, but nothing that needed urgent attention. I caught Druk's smirk out of the corner of my eye. You catch on fast, don't you? I frowned, searching their faces for an answer. Kane and Kimura shared a glance before Kimura shifted his focus to me. You're right. Or at least partly. What you're saying is that we've told the public. What you're saying is that we've told the public. Is what we've told the public. Wow, Reaper, read the line. And it was true. Up until a couple of days ago. One of our members, someone quite attuned to dragon energy, noticed something in the Overtaken. I'm sure you're familiar with the dragon energy crisis happening worldwide. The crisis? Yes, I've heard of it. Okay, well, if dragons are gone, and there's a bunch of humans, of course the dragon magic is gonna dwindle, you know what I mean? So I'm gonna say yes. Everyone's talking about the crisis and its repercussions. Many of my own patients are victims of the crisis and the spring's instability. I know many have been affected by it, but what does it have to do with the current situation? Kimura continued after confirming I understood the crisis and its importance. Similar to how dragon springs are becoming more unstable, the Overtaken have displayed an instability in dragon energy. We have reason to believe that the Overtaken incidents and dragon energy crisis are related. I stared, dumbfounded at Kimura's words. The Overtaken having unstable dragon energy isn't new information. But for it to be related to the dragon energy crisis? I guess seeing the similarities, it's not too much of a stretch. Are you saying Overtaken are causing the energy crisis? It's hard to say if one is causing the other. It's also possible the energy crisis is destabilizing people's reserves, causing Overtaken incidents. The two could also be connected by something else entirely. We were also taken aback by the implications of this discovery. But if we were able to address the Overtaken crisis, we may be closer to solving the energy crisis as well. I stood speechless as I wrapped my head around everything. Are more people being overtaken because the energy around us is becoming more unstable? Okay. Are the Overtaken accelerating the effects of the dragon energy crisis? If the reason for both is something else entirely, is it even possible to find a solution? Or are we doomed to a future where both would alter the fabric of society? What do you think, Reaper? What? Sorry. It's a lot of information to digest, and we haven't given you much time to digest it either. We don't need a response right away. Please, take your time to consider. I could start this week. Are you sure? We're asking a lot from you. After hearing about how important this is, it's hard to think of a reason to say no. I'll help whenever I can. Druk's mouth eased into a sympathetic smile, seemingly understanding the weight of the decision. Let us know if there's anything we can do to help. In that case, I'll arrange for a meeting between you and Edsa tomorrow. The sooner we can relay the information, the better. I nodded in response as the others adjourned the meeting. Our two biggest issues, the Overtaken and the energy crisis, are related? My mind reeled from the shock of the connection. At first, the Overtaken incidents were random, No one knew where they came from, but because there were so few, no one paid attention to any possible pattern. But the energy crisis has been getting worse lately. Right around the same time that the overtaken incidents had started increasing. Have there always been overtaken? Or is this like a recent thing and it's like actually growing faster than what we want to believe it has? Many are speculating over the potential ramifications of the energy crisis. Some believe the energy will be so unstable, springs will react with one another, creating hotspots and natural disasters around the world. Some believe the energy will simply become unusable, forcing humans once more into a world without dragon energy. I shuddered just imagining the latter. It's said that when we couldn't access dragon energy, we lived in a virtually apocalyptic world. Apocalyptic. I can say that word. Why did I stutter over it? Darkness steeped the sky in black and gray, shrouding the light of the stars and the moon, and poisoning everything in its reach. It even seeped into the hearts of living beings, giving rise to horrifying levels of death and violence. As if those killed by the darkness wasn't already enough. Dragon energy transformed the way we lived, allowed us to live in harmony. It paved the way for a peaceful society, something previously thought impossible. Now, the only time we hurt one another was if someone was overtaken. The thought of a world without dragon energy made me sick. If I can change things for the better, why wouldn't I? You took the words right out of my mouth. A voice crept up behind me. I spun around. You know, it's usually not good though to like sneak up on me, so I don't know if I like you. A figure towered before me, covered head to toe in pitch black. Shadows seemed to roll off them, lapping at their feet. Moonlight danced off their porcelain skin, momentarily mesmerizing me. Sharp amethyst eyes leered at me. My eyes narrowed as I tried to discern the rest of their features. But all I could find was a lopsided smirk gleaming in the darkness. My heart beat faster. Goosebumps spread across my arms. I've spent quite a long time trying to find you. For someone as renowned as you, I figured it would be much easier to track you down. A stalker? A lot of people seek me out for my healing skills, but they don't come creeping out at night to ask for it. This can't be good. I turned, set on escaping the danger ahead. A hand seized my wrist, my shoulder tugged backwards. Pain shot through my arm. My breath hitched. I opened my mouth, desperate, and attempted to yell. But just as easily as they had stopped my previous movements, the stranger's hand clamped over my mouth, forcing silence. Their chest pressed against my back. Barely a breath between us, as though part of the shadows themselves, they whispered, "It'll cause a lot of trouble for me if someone sees me, so I can't let you do that. Sorry, little one." I shut my eyes, focusing on calming myself, on summoning the self-defense moves that had always helped me against the overtaken. Anything to get me out of here. Instead, fear washed over me, gripping my heart, drowning out my thoughts, refusing to free me from its clutches. Silently, I pleaded for help. And then the universe answered my prayers. The pressure against my back, around my wrist, and over my mouth vanished. Coughs erupted behind me. The warmth from their body evaporated as the stranger stepped back. "Get down!" Nothing else needed to be said. I pushed myself away, ducked, and ran, refusing to release this chance for safety. "Hey, are you all right?" Oh my, there's so many. I told y'all there's so many, but I think I'm still really into Kane. Someone with pale blue hair and eyes faded in and out of vision. His arm seemed to reach to me, but stopped just short of my own, as though afraid his touch would frighten me. The coughing subsided. I swept my gaze over the alley. Only an empty street remained. They're gone. Looks like they ran away. I could barely hear him over the sound of my heart thrumming against my eardrums with enough force my head ached. Adrenaline filled me. A tingling sensation crept across my face as the events that had just unfurled sank in. Do you know that person? He spoke in a quiet voice, not dissimilar from the stranger earlier, and yet his voice was so distinctly different. Where the stranger from before spoke in low, raspy, rushed manner, the man before me now was gentle, clear, tempered. I shook my head, still trying to gather my thoughts and calm my nerves. They came out of nowhere. When I tried to leave, they grabbed me and wouldn't let go. My voice shook as I spoke. Are you hurt? I shook my head again before forcing myself to speak. I think I'm okay. Just shaken up. Can you stand? Or walk? It's probably best if we get you somewhere safer. I nodded, not wanting to be here a second longer. The blue-haired man stood and offered his hand to me. I took it, gently pulling myself up. Still unsteady on my feet, I stumbled towards him. Still dazed, I struggled to summon the strength to move away. Embarrassed, I pulled my arms up, pushing myself off him. I'm actually kind of leaning towards Kane, I'm not gonna lie. So I'm gonna say embarrassed and push myself off. I pushed myself away, embarrassed at the sudden closeness. Sorry. But the movement was evidently more than what my body could handle. My legs swayed beneath me. The world lurched. I brought my hand to my eyes, holding my face firmly as I tried to get my bearings. Are you all right? His arms were extended, his hands hovering near me. I huffed. First I get attacked out of nowhere and can't protect myself. Now I can't even stand upright? This is too much. Still frozen in place, he murmured, so quiet I almost missed it over the flurry of thoughts in my mind. You don't need to push yourself. His eyes lingered on me. Do you need help getting anywhere? I can walk with you if you want. I think I'm okay. I was almost where I was supposed to be anyways. Thank you, though. I smiled, trying my best to convey my gratitude. If you're close by, I guess that's all right then. He shifted his weight as if unsure. I think I'll be safe. Plus, that guy seemed to be pretty shaken up, judging by how quickly they disappeared. At those words, he seemed to grimace, but as quickly as it had appeared, his expression was replaced by one of concern again. I don't want to make you uncomfortable, so if you think you'll be okay, I'll go. Here, my communicator information, in case you need it. His name appeared on my screen, glowing back at me. Fenir. I'm gonna say Fenir. Without thought, I murmured it, feeling a slight tingle at the back of my head as I did. I hope you get to where you're going safely. Thank you again for tonight. I really appreciate it. I turned away and hurried home, wary of contact with any more strangers for the night. I stared at the clearing ahead of me. Where am I? How does anyone get around this place? I'm pretty sure I followed the receptionist's instructions. Right? Frustrated, I crossed my arms. You still have some time before you're late. Don't freak out. Hello, can I help you? Startled, I turned towards the voice that pulled from my thoughts. Ooh! The person before me was adorned with long, lavish robes. Their hair was tied in a neat, low ponytail that flowed down their body. White, glistening locks of hair framed their features. Striking crystal blue eyes entranced me. So I think they're like, yo, first hour of the game, we're gonna give you all the options, which I approve and I appreciate. I stood in awe, almost breathless. This was an angel. And then the angel's brows furrowed slightly. Can I help you? Oh! I snapped out of my trance. What's wrong with me? I reminded myself of the reason I came here in the first place. Hi! Actually, I'm supposed to be meeting with Etsa? Do you happen to know where I could find them? Ah, you must be Reaper. What? How do they know my name? Noticing the surprised look on my face, they chuckled a smooth, alluring laugh. I nearly fell for them all over again. Sorry, let me start over. My name is Etsa. Hi! It appears you're the person I'm to be meeting with today. Kimura told me about you. As one of the main wyverns at Central, I've been assigned to work with you in addressing the overtaken crisis. Usually I heal the overtaken after we've already knocked them out, but if I'm able to prevent injuries in the first place, that would be ideal. I'm also quite familiar with your achievements as a healer. I don't know what their pronouns are, but I think I'm going to keep Etsa pretty high-pitched. As a fellow healer, I'm more than excited to be working with someone of your caliber. Signaling the end of their introduction, Etsa bowed. I stiffened, overwhelmed by the way they regarded me, unsure how to respond to their deferential gesture and praise. But please, I'm not sure what you've heard, but I'm just doing my best to help. There's no need to treat me as someone so special. Unless I'm just being nice? My heart skipped a beat when Etsa rose to meet my gaze. They sighed with a smile that emanated kindness. If that's what would make you more comfortable, I'm happy to do so. But I do hope you recognize how much you do, both in working with us and as a healer. I had only planned on meeting for a while today, but I would be interested in hearing about your process before the day ends, if that's all right. Of course, whatever you think is best, I'm here to help. Great. Please follow me. I can show you where you're supposed to meet for today. Etsa turned into one of the hallways I had contemplated going down earlier. I followed, but as we made our way to their office, I couldn't help but notice the amount of attention we received. Or rather, the amount of attention Etsa received. People of all ages, genders, and positions fawned over them, vying for attention, even if just for a glance. What does Etsa do to receive this much attention? We made a seemingly endless amount of turns before Etsa finally slowed and stopped at an open doorway, motioning for me to enter. As I entered their office, a calmness washed over me. Everything from the lighting, the spacing, and the furniture made me feel at peace. Tension that I hadn't even realized I'd been holding melted away. I felt clearer, more in tune with myself. Would you like something to drink? Yes, actually, I would like tea, coffee, juice, soda. It's the middle of the day. It's also very, Asian inspired. I'm gonna go with some tea. They nodded before turning to make themselves a cup of tea. Your office is very relaxing. I'm glad you like it. There are some who find it's too relaxing, actually. As if it puts them to sleep. Their musical chuckle rang through the air. I could feel myself getting addicted to the sound of it. It helps my work in many ways, though. I could see that. In here, I feel more connected to my energy, as though it's more refined. I can only imagine how that could help with healing. You're able to sense that? Oh, yeah! I'm pretty in touch with dragon energy. The flow of it, the feel. I've always been sensitive to it, even when I was young. Sorry if that's weird to say. Sometimes I forget that not everyone feels it the way I do. Actually, I completely understand. I'm quite sensitive to fluctuations in dragon energy myself. I can sense changes both in others and in the environment. It's partly the reason why my office is arranged this way. I found this setup has helped better my connection to dragon energy, both in myself and others. But that ability is something I'd always thought is unique to me. I've never met anyone who has been able to do the same. Until now. Unhidden intrigue and wonder shone in their eyes. Silence extended between us. They held me in their gaze, and I felt a tug in my chest when they looked away and cleared their throat. That's all a bit off topic, though. We're here to discuss the Overtaken. I don't want to keep you any longer than I already have. I don't mind at all. I find it interesting. You're right. Let's get to the matters at hand. I like Etza. I'm still into Kane, though, I think. I think I want whatever mischievous smile that we got smirk earlier from Kane. I think I want that. I think that's what I want. You're right. Let's get to the matters at hand. You're really sweet and you're really pretty. You just might be a little too good for me this run. Of course. That would be the responsible thing to do. Forgive me. Like, there's nothing to forgive. It's just, you're good, it's all good. You're really pretty. I like being in your presence. I just have eyes for someone else at the moment. If you could, like, put me in the direction of Kane after this too, that would be great. Etza smiled politely, bringing their hand to their chest and bowing. Okay, so it has to be they, them pronouns. You don't have to do that. I frantically waved for them to stop, taken aback once again by the formal gesture. I just feel bad if we didn't get what Kimura wanted done. I know the situation is serious. You're right. I was swept up in the moment. Thank you for reminding me of why we're here. Please, tell me about your experiences with the Overtaken. Etza motioned to one of the chairs in the office while offering me my drink. I took it and sat. So just in the past month, I've encountered 5 Overtaken. Surprise flickered in Etza's eyes before they nodded, encouraging me to continue. I know a bit of self-defense, as there have been times when my patients accidentally lash out from the pain of or unawareness. So usually when an Overtaken attacks me, I'm able to subdue them. Then I do the same thing I do as a healer. I try to find where their energy is off. Etza gazed thoughtfully at me before speaking. Do you mind explaining what you mean by off? Most of the time, the energy looks erratic, unstable. It's not flowing naturally, or it's heavily concentrated in one area. Sometimes it's moving weird, or it feels disconnected from the person. Then, what do you do once you identify the area of concern? It's hard to put it into words. I've never had to put my process into words before. How do I explain what's instinctual to me? It's all right. Try your best. Maybe I'll be able to understand as someone who also heals and can sense dragon energy. Yeah. It's a little different from how I usually heal people, though. When I heal people, I try to stimulate their energy and create more of it to repair what they've lost. With the Overtaken, it's more like I'm stabilizing their energy. Sometimes it feels like I use my own energy to help move things along. Interesting. Etza appeared lost in thought, silently musing everything. My eyes roamed over them, drinking in the delicate balance between the softness and boldness of their features. I'll have to think on this I'll have to think on this before deciding what would be our best steps moving forward. Sorry if I wasn't helpful. How I deal with Overtaken is a vague process. Nonsense. Just knowing there's an alternative is valuable information. They reached over to place their hand over mine in reassurance. My eyes dropped to our hands, unsure. Is that really true, though? Especially given how serious the energy crisis is? Etza removed their hand before leaning back in their chair. I think your process has the potential to change how we deal with Overtaken, but I'd like some time to reflect on how to best mobilize our wyverns to make this happen. Would you mind coming in a couple of days from now to talk more? I don't mind at all. I told Kimura I'd help as much as I can, and I plan on doing just that. We truly appreciate it. Thank you again for agreeing to work with us. I look forward to the next time we meet. I was struck again by their kindness, my excitement to work with them growing. It was really nice to meet you. Let me know if there's any other ways I can help. I'll see you in a couple of days. Is there anybody else? I think that's where I'm gonna call it here, because we've met 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I think there's 5 love interests. Even the guy who, like, you know, tried to freaking kidnap us. I think he might be a love interest. I'm gonna save. Yes.
And to what do I owe the honor of your presence, my dear?
I missed that. If that comes on every time you go to the main screen, I missed that the first time. So I know, because of the preference as well, I know Alaris has voice acting in it. I don't know when they'll add it in, or if it's like for like cutscenes like later on or what, but I'm very, very excited to see how the voice actors sound for each character. I love this. I like that, like, we were lore dropped a lot of things, but they did it in such a way that I don't feel like bogged down by it, and they've immediately put us into like, hey, yeah, you're meeting a lot of characters, which can be kind of like, whoa, but you've been given the situation, you have these characters that we know, like when you play Otome games, you know who's your love interest and who's not, and if you don't know, you can also go to the game page and they have all that info there as well. I didn't look at that, but they are in like the title, like the top picture, so I'm like, yeah, you guys are there. I'm interested to see how romance is going to, like, is the story just going to go on its own, and if you romance someone, you romance someone, if you don't, you're doing the story, like, is a romance the integral part of the story, or is it like, hey, you're going to figure out what's going on with the energy crisis and these people who need help, and the romance is like on the side of like, hey, you can do this with the person you like beside you? Or is it, hey, here's a situation, you need the person you love with you in order to find a solution, kind of thing? Both are great routes, in my opinion. I will always go more the romance route, but I think Otomes are known to have romances in them, but I don't think that we're now bound by that. Like, non-romance route in Otome still give us amazing stories, and I think people who don't want a romance but want these amazingly like the full is the only way I can say for some Otome games. Full stories is a great option. I'm very much looking forward to more Alaris, excuse me. And that was a quick look at Alaris. I hope you guys enjoyed that. I hope you, out of, again, the many sprites we saw, I hope that you found maybe one that piqued your interest. I don't know, you would think I would have gone for like one of, like, there's a lot of blues and whites, and you would think I would be there with them, but there's just something about Kane being right up in my face really early on and smirking and saying I was cute that I'm just like, can you say more? Can you do that some more, please? I would really like to be called cute some more. But everyone, that is it for Alaris, excuse me. If you want to check out the game yourself, again, I just do little snippets. So maybe you're like, Reaper, I'm not waiting for, 6 months down the road if you get to this to like finish the playthrough. I want to play it. Description box. All that information is down there. And if you want to check out my information, as well as my Twitch site where I will be streaming my Otomes more in the future with Frisky Flirty Fridays, that is also down in the description box below. As always, guys, thank you so much for watching. And with that, I hope you have a great day night, wherever you are in the world, and I will see you next time. Bye, guys.